Hello everybody, welcome back. Today we're going to look at some of the more advanced features within solid modeling. I wish to tell you a little bit about sketching, and within sketching there are options such as mirroring, creating a circular pattern, or creating linear patterns, and there are so many of those. And we're going to build upon that knowledge and we're going to proceed to the feature level, and we can look at all of those all over again at the feature level. There is a distinction between these commands at the sketch level and at the feature level. So let's do a deep dive and let's see some of the hands-on examples. I'm going to open a new part file. Here on the top plane, let's say that's my that's where I would like to sketch a few things, and I would like to demo what those options actually allow me to do. So for instance, looking at some of these advanced features within a sketch editor, we have something that's called offset entities, we have mirror entities, and we have patterns. So we are not just restricted to linear pattern. There are other options. For example, you can do a circular pattern as well. And if you go over to the feature level, you will be able to see all of those, but at a different effect. You need to understand there is a distinction between applying a certain entity at a sketch level or at a feature level. Okay, right. So looking at the sketch here, let's just say, for example, I want to draw myself a rectangle. Center the corner rectangle like so. Green tick to confirm. Now the way offset entities work, it's fairly straightforward. All you got to do is specify the entities you wish to offset, whether you want to offset inwards or offset outward. Offset literally means you're taking a step in or a step out. Okay, so you're offsetting from the given entity or something that you already have, you're stepping it. This actually helps you minimize your workload, and you can relate to something that's already existent in the sketching plane, and you can offset it out from something that is pre-existent. Okay, so for instance, if I were to go and say offset entities, my little properties manager pop up, and that allows me to specify the offset. So this is my 10mm offset. I think I'm going to go with, let's just say, 5mm offset. Okay. And there are some other options in there which depending on whatever I select, I will get the preview of that. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and try and use that straight out of the box. Okay, so the minute I select the edge of the rectangle, it's previewing me that I am about to commit to another shape like this, which is offsetting 5mm. Let's just say I wanted that to be slightly bigger. I can do that, and I can green tick to confirm. What that really means is the minute I specify everything I need to know about our key sketch, our offsetted entity is also fully defined, because it is reliant on our base sketch to provide some of those details. So for instance, this bigger rectangle is drawn 15mm out of our original rectangle all the way through, and this is one of the ways you can use offset entities command. You could do exactly the same for offsetting inwards. So if I can create myself, let's just say, another shape, this time a slot shape, making sure that stays horizontal, a couple of numbers if you need. And this is 100. What I can do at this level, I can say offset that inwards. So I'm going to go reverse that in, and I'm going to select that as my previewing sketch, and I'm happy with that. That's exactly what I wanted. I'm going to go green tick to confirm, and that gives me a nice double line profile. In case I wanted to create a pipe section or hollow section, this is a really handy command. It saves you a lot of work, and I can go ahead and extrude that out as standard, like so. So considering how quickly and easily you can create profiles, I would suggest this is a really handy little tool to know, and I would definitely encourage you to practice that a little bit more if you like. Let's look at a hands-on example where offset entities can be really handy. say on top plane, I'm going to build my base model here, my favorite shape, the slot. I'm going to dimension that. Green tick to confirm and exit sketch. I would like to extrude that out a certain distance, let's say about 100. Green tick to confirm. Now what if I needed to add another layer on top of this, okay? And that layer is not really a distinctly different shape, it's precisely a shadow of this and offset it in a smaller scaled down version of that slot shape there. And we can do exactly that without having to worry about too many details. So I'm gonna go select that surface there and go into the new sketch, right click, look normal to, and whilst I'm here I'm gonna go and say, can I offset this edge? It selected just one line. I hope it will go wrong. Selecting that's switched off, so I'm going to go and select all of those in a sequence. So all I'm doing there is selecting the edge of that, and you need to bear in mind my altitude of sketching is at top there, so anything I draw, it's going to sit on there, it's going to sit flush with the plane at that altitude. Or I can draw actually on that surface there, so something like this, or I can draw something there as well at which is not fully contained with that original slot shape. So I'm gonna go and say that's exactly what I needed, probably a slight adjustment to that, and I'm gonna go green tick to confirm, and that gives me a new sketch without having to worry about dimensioning that. That is fully constrained already, because this sketch now depends on our original boss extrude, and hence it doesn't need any more input from my side. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and extrude that out. Standard process here. I'm gonna go making sure the merge result box is switched on. I'm going to go and create that solid based on that, and that gives me my derived feature right there. Okay, so I think there can be tons of opportunities where we can use offset entities at sketch level, and we can roll it forward in the feature level, and that kind of gives us a really nice robust model. Okay, so hopefully in the future you'll find tons and tons of use of this. The next command I'm going to demonstrate, it is called mirror entities. Once again, I would like to demo this using a part environment. Here on the top plane, I'm going to temporarily hide away these planes here because I would like to show you the line work, etc. Mirror entities work on the basis, on an assumption that there is a mirror somewhere in our sketching plane. So what I tend to do is I tend to use a line command for construction. Okay, it's necessary you say that, and it kind of Solidworks then knows what to do with that. Really, it doesn't have to be a construction line. You can just select any segment and say that's actually my mirror, can you just copy stuff across onto the other side. So the way it works, it's basically this. I can let's just say I have a sketch entity sitting on one side of the mirror plane there. What I can do is I can say mirror. When the blue box is activated as entities to mirror, I'm gonna go select that circle saying that's something I would like to mirror about. When the mirror about box is active, if it is not, you gotta click into that to be able to turn that blue, so it's active now. So anything I click, it's going to jump in that box. I'm going to go select this line here. There we go. You gotta make sure your copy option is switched on if you would like that to be replicated on the other side, and you would like to see the seed profile as it is as well. I can green tick to confirm, and that gives me a mirror relationship between these two circles. You know, there could be lots of situations where you may need identical looking geometries either side of a line, a parting plane, etc. I think this is handy. This saves you a lot of time because it will also do this. You know, it will keep them connected, and if I were to try and change the size, that happens, and I think that's beautiful. How do we use mirror in sketching? Well, exactly like this, you know, we can, if I were to go and say, I want to dimension that, I can do this, I can, and also I can say, make sure that the diameters are also there, and also stuff like how far out we are from the origin. So I can make sure this particular circle is sitting at the same level as our origin. So I'm going to go and say horizontal, and that will lock that circle in place. And what has happened as an effect of that, the other circle is automatically locked as well in place, and that's the beauty of the mirror command. Now let's just say, how can we use this in the feature, at the feature level? I'll demo that now. Let's say top plane, sketch. We have a billet here, basically just a base profile, which will then allow us to add a feature to it. In this case, it's going to be an extrusion. I'm going to make it in a random height, like so. I'm going to go green tick to confirm. Right, so let's just say there is an imaginary line going through the middle. There isn't one, but I think we'll have to assume, or probably we need to bring back some of our planes to be able to use those as our mirror plane. And that's the difference between the sketching mirror and the feature mirror. Okay, in sketch mirror, you got to use a line as your mirror, as your virtual mirror, and when you're using a feature based mirror command, so hopefully it's hiding in here, you got to use a plane to say everything that's on this side of the plane, I want you to copy that across or create a pattern based on that. Okay, so I'm gonna go and say, how about I create a unique feature around this side, and I would get Solidworks to generate the same feature on the other side, and they remain tied into each other, etc. I'm gonna go draw myself a little sketch that level, and here I'm gonna go and create, how about I do this, offset. I want to offset that line inwards, and I want to offset that line inwards and that line inwards, but I don't want to draw that. I just wanted a small window around here. So I'm gonna go, oh, didn't want that to go away. Let's do that again. What happens when I do this? Reverse that. That's pretty good. I'll take that. I'm gonna go and say, this puppy stops here, it doesn't go all the way across, and that gives me an opportunity to trim away the stuff I don't need. So for example, I didn't need any of those things. If I'm keen, I can also specify that to be able to make it fully defined, and I can use that to cut it out. Okay, so let's just say I wanted to stamp that out using an extrude cut command, and that goes up to next. So it's going to carry on going until it comes out of the box. And I prefer this command over blind or through wall. Sometimes through wall will cut through lots of other shapes too, and I just want it to go through the next surface out. Okay, so I'm gonna go green tick to confirm, and here we have it. You know, that's the shape I've created. What I wanted to do is use a mirror command, because I don't want to do all that work that I just did in creating the line work, etc., and specifying the depth. I wanted to replicate that pattern onto this side here. Easy stuff. I'm gonna go activate mirror from here, or it's hiding under the chevron here. Okay, wherever you like. Or I don't know if I told you this already, you can always go in the command bar, and if you don't really know where the commands are hiding, you can just start typing the keyword, and hopefully Solidworks will fetch the command for you. Okay, once you're in mirror manager, or the properties manager, it is expecting you to select a mirror plane. Now I don't have one because I switched off my planes. It's not really a problem. You can actually, before going into mirror, you can switch them on, or you can go into that little chevron and say, I'm going to specify. So that chevron will always be there. We don't notice it is there, but it is there. I can go in there and I can say from the tree, actually my right plane is the mirror. I want to use that as a mirror, and anything that's on. So when the features to mirror box is active, I'm going to go and say I can select that cut extrude there, or I can select the cut extrude from the tree, whichever way works better for you. And it's going to instantly preview what I'm about to commit to. And I think I wanted exactly that. I'm going to go green tick to confirm. And that gives me the effect I was after, you know. And I think it's fairly straightforward, you know. It makes lots of sense because it minimizes my work by 50% or nearly 50%, because I have done all the hard work trying to set up the first sketch dependent on the original base profile, and all I want to do is use the mirror to be able to throw that entity across. Once again, if you are trying to edit any of these, you got to go over to the tree and find the appropriate feature from the tree. So for example, I wanted to edit the cross section of that. I'm going to go edit sketch, and I'm going to go look straight at it. Okay, so instead of 250, I'm going to make it abruptly bigger so that we can see the difference, 400. Let's see if our boxes grew or shrunk with it. Exit sketch. Look at that. That's a stretched out model now. And everything follows through, and Solidworks will roll forward to bring in all of those changes on board. This is why I love the mirror command, okay? I hope you like it too. When using the linear pattern, if you activate the command, the interface is fairly straightforward. Once again, this is the feature manager tree, and where you have tons of options here. So I can say what is the direction of propagation. So x-axis, it's anything, a feature or little sketch entity I would like to replicate in that direction. It's going to jump onto x-axis, or y-axis really. So I can do a double, you know, like a two-dimensional matrix if I wanted that. On this occasion, all I wanted to do is replicate that rectangle along the Z direction, and I'll be quite happy with that, or Y direction. It's one or the same. I don't think it's going to mind as much really. Okay, so if I say entities to pattern, it's this rectangle here, so it's picked all of those, and it's trying to preview something already. Now I don't think I've done a good job saying don't go in that direction, I want you to go in that direction as well. Okay, so I'm going to go and say I only want one of those in X direction, but in Y direction I want more than one really, because I'm just going to come up with a number to be able to try and fill that space. Okay, so if I say can I have two of those, and I can see that little preview, I know what's going on here. It's trying to preview and it's trying to go that way. I don't want that, it's going that way, right? So I can flip the direction, if you remember that generic button there, to be able to say right, go inwards, you know, go back into the box. And probably the spacing is too tight, and I would like that to be 20 millimeter. This could be any number you can plug in, and I'm going to go, I quite like that preview. I'm going to go and increase that until I fill the space. That looks about right. I'm going to go green tick to confirm. So just to summarize what I've done here, I went to the sketch line pattern command. I selected my seed profile here, which is the rectangle, and I literally said to Solidworks, look, can you just replicate that on this direction 12 times with the space of 20 millimeters center to center. Okay, and it has done exactly that. So this, imagine drawing this manually if you sat there somewhere in an office, probably drawing squares or rectangles within a square. I can exit that out, and I can go into boss base, and all of a sudden I don't need to specify, I don't need to worry about anything else. I have my very complicated 3D model here, which looks like either a drain cover or an air vent really. So this is how you can use the pattern command at the sketch level. Okay, exactly the same you can do at the feature level too. You can use a linear pattern to be able to create a pattern or copy things across if it's more than one occurrence, and you can also do the same with the circular pattern here. So let me demo how you can use the circular pattern command. Okay, I'm going to go into a new part file here. Let's just say you're trying to design something that resembles a disc brake. Okay, so I'm going to go, it's not going to be very flashy disc brake really, something very basic. That's your first ring there, and I'm going to go and say, can I have that as 200? About that big. That makes sense. That's how big the big the diameter of the disc brakes are, and you can obviously find them in varying shapes and sizes. Now there is a a circular sketch pattern command at the sketch level. However, I would like to show you exactly the same stuff at the feature level. I'm going to go and say that's about 5 mil thick. Green tick to confirm. And at that altitude, I would like to create my key profile, and then I'll be replicating that all the way around. Okay. So let's just say this key profile is a blend of this. Also, I would like to leave myself a construction line so that I can come back and use that as a mirror. And I would like to create a tangential connection between these circles. So I'm going to go draw myself a line like so. I'm going to turn that into a solid line instead of a construction line. And I'm going to go mirror that about by using the mirror entities command about this dashed line here, and that gives me the profile I'm after. I'm pretty sure that's tangent. No, it isn't, so I shall dictate that tangential relationship right there like so, and I'm gonna go trim away the excess. So that's the key profile I was after really. What if I wanted to cut that out? So I'm going to go and say extrude, cut it out, go that way, probably up to next, green tick to confirm, and that gives me that. Okay, now the way circular pattern works, it's hiding under linear pattern here. You gotta activate that by clicking onto the command. I'm going to go select circular pattern. Once it comes up, it will just like linear pattern, it will ask you to specify direction, but here it's a circular pattern, isn't it? So you got to specify a key profile, a key edge, anything that gives you a gauge of the direction, a gauge of the circle. Which circle do you actually mean? Because you could have something else sitting around here, and you could say, right, patternize everything around that. On this instance, I mean I wish to pattern this key feature here around that edge. So all I did is when that blue box was active for the direction, I went in and I selected that, and I'm going to go and specify the feature to pattern, which is going to be that cut. Now it is previewing something already. I don't think I like it, so I'm going to go and say equal spacing. And so what that really does is in that 360 degrees, it will fit these many of the replicates. So I'm going to go bump that number up to something I'm after. So let's just say I wanted a profile like this, about 12 of those, and I wish to green tick to confirm. And this is how you use a circular pattern command to get a lot of work done, just a few clicks really. So instead of manually patterning all of that, you could use the command here. And the beauty of using this, the feature pattern over the sketch pattern, is you get a nice little entry in the tree. So you can, at any point in time, you can say, I want to edit that. And that gives, this is the beauty of it. I love it. I can say, look, I want to change that to 15. Obviously that's not looking right. I'm going to go ahead and probably commit to about 14 of those, and this works really well. So this was just an example of how you can use circular pattern command to get the desired effect. There are other options in here. So for example, you could choose to switch off some of these and leave some of these on. So let's see if I can demo that now. You can go into the properties manager and you can specify the instances to skip, and you can say, actually I didn't want them to go around all the way 360. I probably wanted to switch off a couple of these and you can literally, when that box is active, you can say I would like them to be just zeroed out. I don't want those, but I would like the pattern to be there. Okay, depending on your design intent, there might be a situation where you need to be able to do that. So all you got to do is feed your pattern a seed feature, specify a direction, which way it's going around, whether it's going 360 or whether you need to say it's only got to go a quarter of a circle, and you just got to say how many of those you are after. And that's how you use a circular pattern command. Hope you like it.